Rust is probably the most annoying thing when it comes to cars. I got this little Mustang here that picked up for 1,500 bucks actually. They thought the transmission went out of it because it wouldn't go into reverse, but it seems to be like just a stretched cable or something. I haven't looked into it yet, because if you just wiggle the shifter a little bit, it pops into reverse just fine. And I've just been driving around for the past month or two. But I wanted to address this before it starts to get too bad, because honestly the rest of the car is in pretty good shape, especially for Michigan. Like if you look under here, this is all just the paint coming off. It's still incredibly solid. So for Michigan, this is pretty darn good. So I was gonna try and get some other stuff done today, but I came out and I looked at the car and I was like, man, I gotta do something about that before it starts to just really rot away. This driver's side over here, I already pulled the fascia off, which I had no idea these cars were this hideous under that fascia. Like I thought that was just like an optional little trim cover, but no, it's actually like you need it. Otherwise you got all this grossness. But yeah, I started grinding away the paint to get a good look at everything. There's a few pretty good holes here. So did have to go pick up the MIG welder from my dad's, because I'm not gonna try and TIG weld all this. I imagine the other side's gonna look about the same. Yeah, this where it's shiny, that's all good. So I'll probably bring it, I might come down to this pinch weld here, that way this is hidden under the fascia too. It sucks that this hole's down here, that's in kind of an annoying spot. This stuff up here, I'll probably just make basically a square that comes down probably to this seam here. That'll be an easy spot. This all up through here, I'm gonna have to like butt weld it to the good sheet metal. This stuff down here I can probably just stack, honestly, because that'll be behind the fascia anyway. I need some sort of like weld through primer. This is kind of weird. I don't know what all these are. Those are like dents from rocks or what's up. I know how to do body work. I understand most of the correct ways to do things. I just don't like to, because they take forever, and I'm like a little pea-brain millennial. I want instant gratification. So I think I'm going to pull this other side apart too, so I can get a good look at that, and try to just kind of do everything I'm doing on one side on the other side at the same time. That way I'm not like getting that side all done and painted, and while that's drying I'm over here welding and making a bunch of dust and everything. So I guess the goal here really is to see if we can do just a pretty decent job of rust repair over just a weekend, and see if, without doing anything real crazy, if we can make the car go from pretty crummy to pretty presentable in just a few days. So I gotta lift it up a little bit so I can get to the clips, because this is just held in with like those push clips, which were surprisingly annoying to get out, even with like the side cutter and then prying it off. I'm not actually a big fan of these stripes, but I think it'll make a good kind of visual stop for where to paint. I'll just put some tape over that and then paint everything below it and to the door, so all through here will be fresh paint. So kind of a good thing those are there. I want to pull this off now. Alright, so now that I got most of it down to the bare metal, down here is a lot worse than I expected when the cover was on it. Like the other side, most of it's up here, and then a little bit right here and here. But down here, I don't know how much that's gonna suck yet, to be honest. I'll probably just try to cut out everything where it's rusty and just go right over this, and who knows, might be fine. Not really sure. But I am going to have to cut this out too. You can kind of see, like, at first it's like, oh, it's all solid, all the metal's there, it's fine. but you can kind of see how this part's a different color, and then if you tap, you can hear how that's like a dull sound. So behind this, that probably won't last too much longer if it was left in there. I bet I could push right through it too. So yeah, I'll probably cut all the way out to where it's all nice shiny good metal and weld in some new sheet. I'll probably make like, I don't know, I might actually just like cut out one big rectangle piece to go over all of this. Like, it's gonna be kind of foolish to some to cut out like all this good metal, but I think it'll just be easier in the long run to do one big square versus like square here, this little lip here, and then another piece down here. I think it'll be easier to do just one big square. But aside from that, you can see that this pinch weld here is super healthy. Like, it's honestly just the paint chipped off of it. It's still incredibly solid. So all of this, I might go pick up like a rust converter or something to spray on it, and then just seal it and call it good. Alright, a little bit of sanding, starting to look pretty good. So you can see here, there's not really much Bondo in it, just a little skim coat here and there. There's just a few small holes that need to be filled. They make like a little putty that you can just kind of squirt right in there and smooth out, and it hardens on its own, but I don't have it here. I need to sand here more. But like I said, I don't have that putty, so I might mix up a little bit more Bondo just to try to really force it in these holes and fill it. But everywhere else is looking pretty good, I think. There's like a little weird bump here. I might just not worry about it, because like it's not gonna be perfect, but it's pretty darn good. Like even this crease is pretty decent. So I think I'll mix up a little bit more, skim it on this side, try and force it in everything. I might sand through here a little bit more, try and get this smoother. And then while this is drying, probably cut out a plate and weld it in on the other side. But making pretty good progress on it. This one shouldn't be too bad either. So I'm gonna get back to work. Well, there you have it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Realistically, it's probably like a solid 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5 out of 10 in the right light. I mean, if I get close to it, you can see a lot of the imperfections still. Like all this, I didn't care about because that's all gonna be hidden under the molding, but as far as like the body that you can see, you can see some little divots. I mean, the goal from the beginning wasn't to make this some perfect restored show car. I just wanted to be able to park it in the parking lot, and when I come back out, not just be like, oh god, there's this huge rust hole in the car. And I think we succeeded at that. Considering this was just I was bored on the weekend and felt like improving the car a little bit kind of project, it's not bad. This side's basically the same way. With bodywork and painting and stuff, I just get so impatient. It's like, oh my god. But I think for my pea-sized Neanderthal brain, it turned out pretty good. Like I said, 6 out of 10. So I'm going to get the molding on it. I'm gonna spray a few of the things underneath with some rust inhibitor just to prevent it. Like I'll spray the pinch weld and everything down there. And then I'll throw the molding back on, throw the wheels on. We'll get the car outside and take a look at it out there. All right, here we go. Got it out in the sun. You can see it a little bit better. You can see it in relation to the rest of the car. I think, you know, it turned out, like I said, 6.5 out of 10. Honestly, I'm really looking for it because I know where the imperfections are, and I'm 4 feet away. It looks pretty decent. This was just basic, like, parts store paint match rattle can. Turned out pretty good. Once it's a little dirty and the rest of the car is a little cleaner, it'll match pretty decent. After a couple weeks or so, I'll probably try to buff it a little bit just to blend it a little bit nicer, but all things considered, not bad. Let's go look at the other side where the sun's actually on it. Like I said, it turned out pretty good. Like if you look where the shadows and everything are, they look pretty good. Just at a quick glance, nothing really looks out of the ordinary. If you really look, you can see like a couple small waves in it, but I don't really care about that. It's just a V6 Mustang, it's not a show car. If I was really worried about the looks, I would go get a paint pen and fix like whatever happened there. I don't know how that happened. That was there when I got the car, but just stuff like that. For what it is, for how it turned out, I'm pretty content with it. Just some quick little weekend rust repair. It's doable. It turns out pretty all right. Don't be afraid to mess up. Hope this video kind of gives you the motivation to just get out there, work on your stuff. Who cares if you screw up a little bit? Cars are cars. They're never going to be perfect, so just do your best. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell. We'll see you next time. See ya.